Okay. This is Barnstable Today for Tuesday, April 21st. Welcome aboard. I'm Mark Mumford. And just a quick reminder that the meetings we cover are available on demand at the town's website, town.barnstable.ma.us.
The ongoing conflicts between boaters and shell fishermen resurface at the Coastal Resources Management Committee meeting. That's our focus today. Thanks for joining us. I'm Kevin Friel.
Docks and piers were the main agenda item at the latest meeting of the Coastal Resources Management Committee.
Shell fisherman Andre Sampu, who is a member of the Shellfish Committee, opened the discussion.
I think that my biggest concern is the fact that over the past number of years, a lot of docks have been allowed in areas that, in my opinion, and in the opinion of other shellfish people that are interested in preserving this resource. And what I'm finding is that it's very difficult with our Conservation rules and Conservation Commission's rules and regulations. Very difficult to really fight against the applicant, particularly when the applicant will use the courts to process their application. A number of cases in the early 2000s were brought to court. Town of Barnstable won a few, even up through the Supreme Judicial Court. But lately, I guess, in my opinion again, the town is inundated with court cases, and I believe in that vein, the town has more or less requested that denials really be based on some mitigating circumstances that maybe allow seasonal piers to go. So what I'm concerned about is that piers are still going up. They may be, quote, seasonal, or they may be, quote, dinghy dock piers, but they go up. And I think, again, in our last meeting discussion, when I asked Carol if in her study of Chatham's plan, master harbor plan, if they allowed seasonal dinghy dock piers. And her answer, I believe, was it was such a problem of enforcement that they didn't allow that. So I would like to see our Conservation Commission rules rewritten that it doesn't allow dinghy dock piers. Again, because there's lack of enforcement in this town. And until we find a solution, if ever, for that, I don't think we should continue to allow seasonal piers or dinghy docks.
Conservation Commission Chair Dennis Houle responded to Sampu's remarks.
First of all, I'm not a waterfront property owner. I don't have a pier. Right. And I'm not a boater, so I don't have mooring issues. And I'm not a shellfisher either, so I don't belong to any special interest group. I am a conservation commissioner, and we have to go on the basis of evidence. You know, I respect very strongly held opinions. I mean, you've been very clear for many, many years, Andre, and you've been an active volunteer for this town. Recreational shellfishing wouldn't exist in this town anymore if it weren't for guys like you and other members of ours. I mean, the resource has gone down so far. It's essentially become put and take, and without what you guys do, recreational shellfishing would be over. But the long-standing belief that the cause of all of this is piers, I think is somewhat misdirected. The evidence has come in so strongly now. And some of us on the commission saw this a few years ago when the first reports came in on Shoestring Bay, on the Mass Estuaries project. And we saw what nitrogen loading was doing to that bay and how severely impacted that bay was, and the resource had gone to nothing. And then as each estuary report came in for 3 bays, and then Centerville River, and lastly Lewis Bay, the evidence is overwhelming and it's accumulated as to where the problem really lies. And I think piers have become like a red herring. It's been a convenient thing for people to attack. It's sort of a populist thing for people to attack. There aren't many people out there defending the rich waterfront property owners, and there aren't many people out there defending the conservation commissioners. People hate regulators, so we're an easy target to lob grenades at. But the comment you made and the comment that Carol made last time, I mean, based on the Chatham, their philosophy, their direction, she went in another direction. She seemed to indicate that they didn't put Piers in high-value shellfish. They didn't go the way that Barnstable gone with a rating system and Conservation Commission regulations designed to protect high value. I disagree respectfully with that approach that she represented and that other people in here agree with. I think the underlying assumption to that approach is that essentially people can't be trusted, that people are evildoers, and if they're given a chance to cheat, they will. And so if they get a non-motorized dinghy dock, they're going to cheat somewhere along the way and put a motorboat there. All I can tell you is that that's not been my experience on the Conservation Commission.
After more than an hour of give and take, Coastal Resources Chair Bob Jones put a question to the committee.
All in favor of using zoning as a tool for encouraging relay areas and propagation, shellfish propagation, tongue-tied, and to use performance standards to all other areas. All in favor of that motion, raise your hand, please. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All those opposed? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Guess what, Mr. Chairman?
I'm leaving. Oh, boy.
Is that a final answer, or is this just sort of for...
I'm going to have to call for somebody, some friend to give me a, what's that show there? Is that your final answer? I don't know. You know, I said early on that Stu asked a question, how are you going to come to conclusions? And I said that I'm going to try to get a consensus. And anything else that we can't get a consensus, we're just going to have to go for a hard and fast vote. I am going to vote against this because philosophically I still go with the private property owners. However, I will not, I am more than willing to work on this and bring it back with a site-specific type of situation and address it again. I would really rather have a full consensus, a majority consensus of everybody here of what we're doing. So, and because I understand both sides of these, and I'm really not against either side, especially knowing that the impact is only on a small group of people. But I still wouldn't want to be one of those small groups of people, you know, involved in.
Please keep in mind that you can watch the Coastal Resources meeting on demand at the town's website, town.barnstable.ma.us.
Meanwhile, on the town calendar this evening, the Airport Commission meets at the Airport Conference Room at 6 o'clock.
Then at 6:30, the Conservation Commission meets in the Town Hall hearing room. Thanks for joining us today. I'm Kevin Friel.
We'll meet you right back here tomorrow. I'm Mark Mumford.